So let's continue with our development of the types of values in JavaScript. And let's look at the special types of value, namely undefined values and infinity and not a number and so on. So we have to define these special types of variable for cases where we may be carrying out some operation on values that don't fit either integer or floating types of variables. So number one, let's try using just very large numbers. And we know that with all computers, there is some limit, there's some upper limit on the number of or the size of numbers that we can use. So if we log out a value of 1,000, we expect, yes, we'll get, we'll be able to handle 1,000 quite easily. But let's say 1 million, 1 billion, 1 trillion, and let's just arbitrarily add a large number of zeros so that this is a very large number. And if we run that, we can see it still doesn't fail, that it's now converted to a floating point number. So this E, we read this as 1 times 10 to the power 27. And if you go ahead, I'm not going to do it, but if you go ahead and count all these up, you'll see there are 27 zeros. So this is the number 1 times 10 to the power 27. So that's convenient. We can imagine that we will be able to handle large values. And of course, if we try adding a 1 to that, then that 1 is insignificant in comparison with that. So the answer to this operation is not a perfect 1 times 10 to the power 35, but there is some rounding off that happens here. So it is possible to lose some data when doing operations like this. So just be aware of that limitation. Of course, if you had numbers within a certain range, then you would find the result of those possibly negligible numbers will still be retained up to a certain limit. Okay, so that's for large numbers. But how about numbers that are really infinite? So, for example, if we take 1 and divide it by 0, we know that that is infinity. And so there is a reserved word, infinity. So it does tell us that this result is infinity. And then, of course, 0 divided by 0 is undefined. Well, we say it's undefined. In the context of JavaScript, we say it as not a number. So if we console log 0 divided by 0, then we get a nan, not a number. Okay. And so those are some of the types of numbers, the special types of numbers. There are also types that we encounter when dealing with variables, and we'll look at that in the next video.